We're going to look at a poem by William Cullen Bryant titled, "To a Waterfowl." By a waterfowl, of course, he means something, a migratory bird, ducks, geese, those types of birds. Whither, midst falling dew, while glow the heavens with the last steps of day, far through their rosy depths thou dost pursue thy solitary way. He uses some rather archaic English here, but thy, of course, means essentially your solitary way, thy solitary way. Second stanza, vainly the fowler's eye. Who's a fowler? Well, a fowler is someone in this context who's hunting ducks, hunting geese, waterfowl. Vainly the fowler's eye might mark thy distant flight to do thee wrong, as darkly seen against the crimson sky thy figure floats along. In other words, someone might be trying to kill the duck or the goose or whatever this waterfowl might be. Seekest thou the plashy brink of weedy lake or marge of river wide, or where the rocking billows rise and sink on the chafed ocean side? There is a power whose care teaches thy way along that pathless coast, the desert and illimitable air, lone, wandering, but not lost. So he's really not talking about a whole flock of waterfowl here, but a lone, solitary one flying all by itself. And you may have seen that, of course, in the migration season, where a whole flock of geese have just gone by, and then we have one solitary flying by itself, trying to catch up to the others perhaps. The key item here in this stanza is there's a power. There's something that guides these migratory birds, and we see this in much of nature. Think about the hummingbird, who migrates from Mexico to Alaska and back every year. A tiny, tiny little bird. And how can it get that far away and come back year after year after year, sometimes to the very same nesting site in Mexico? So how do these birds and other animals have this instinct? Well, he's talking about this then, this power. All day thy wings have fanned at that far height the cold, thin atmosphere, yet stoop not weary to the welcomed land, though the dark night is near. And soon that toil shall end. Soon shalt thou find a summer home and rest, and scream among thy fellows. Reeds shall bend soon o'er thy sheltered rest. Thou art gone. The abyss of heaven hath swallowed up thy form, yet on my heart deeply hath sunk the lesson thou hast given, and shall not soon depart. In other words, he's learned something from watching this solitary waterfowl as it's gone on its way. And we get that here in the last stanza. He who from zone to zone guides through the boundless sky thy certain flight, in the long way that I must trace alone, will lead my steps aright. So the idea seems to be that whatever that power is that gives direction and guidance to the birds as they fly, then he's saying here that he feels that same power will be able to guide him through life as he walks through life by himself, much as that solitary bird flying overhead.